Now, close your eyes. Allow your body to melt into stillness. Feel the blanket resting gently over your skin. Let the breath ease out from your chest and feel how the room quiets itself. For you, you're safe now. You're exactly where you need to be. Breathe in softly, hold for a heartbeat, and exhale slowly, like a breeze winding down a forest trail. That's it. Again, gentle breath in and out. Let the thoughts drift like leaves in a slow-moving stream. You're going to rest now. The air cool, the sky dusky, the world slowly falling into hush. And as you listen to my voice, imagine yourself walking beside soft lantern light. Our story tonight begins in a village nestled deep in the folds of green hills and hollow woods, a place half remembered by time, a place known as Hollow Hill. Each night at twilight, when the last violet light draped across the villagers of Hollow Hill would begin to close their shutters, cover their hearts, and listen, not for words, but for a sound. Dawning. It would echo across stone walls and cobbled lanes, the low, rich call of the curfew bell. It was the signal that day was drawing to a close, that fires must be doused and doors locked tight, for in the old times, it was believed that night belonged not to men, but to spirit. And high above the village atop a weathered stone steeple, wrapped in ivy and lichen, was the one who rang it, the Bellringer of Hollow Hill. Now, the Bellringer was not a priest who never missed a single evening, no matter the wind or frost, nor a soldier, nor a herald, no. He was simply Khan, a gentle elderly man with soft boots and a long woolen coat. His name was Old Harvin, though most just called him the Bell. Each night, just as the shadows stretched long, Harvin would lift his lantern and climb the spiral stairs of the steeple, step by step, stone by stone. His breath a slow cloud in the cold air, and the only sound, the quiet tap, 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 tap of his boots. As he climbed, he would whisper to himself, "Oh, lullabies and verses, fragments of prayers from his boyhood, and little wishes for the safety of every soul below." He wasn't just ringing a bell. You see, he was sending a message. Be still now. The day is done. Be safe. Be warm. Be at peace. And when he reached the top, he would pause. Take a long look at the valley below. From there, he could see it, or the glimmer of cottage lights, the curling chimneys, the winding stream that caught starlight like silver thread. He'd lift the great wooden mallet, carved with runes and smoothed by time, and with a deep breath, he'd strike the bell once. Dawning, the sound moved like water through the hills, soft, echo timeless. And with each reverberation, the village grew quieter. The kind that walk only in the in-between hours. The kind that do not like to be reminded that people are still awake, still watching. Even the animals listen. Even the trees still there rustling. Harvin believed, though he never said it aloud, that the bell kept something away. Not something wicked, no, but restless things. And so, the bell was a line, a gentle boundary drawn in sound. When he was young, Harvin had asked the old bellringer before him, "Why must it always be rung every night?" And the old man had replied, "Because silence invites, but sound reminds the dark that we're still here." Back in the present, as Harvin stood by the bell, he would take his time between rings. Sometimes 3, sometimes 4, never more than 7. Each one a chime of peace. He never rang in haste. He never rang in anger, only in stillness. And when the final echo faded into the night, he would sit quietly by the great oaken beam, the lantern beside him casting warm flickers on the carved stones, and he would hum a soft tune, wordless, like something remembered from before he was born. Down in the village, the people would feel it too. Children tucked in their beds would smile in their sleep. Mothers would breathe easier, and old men would close their eyes and whisper, "Thank you, heart." No one told him these things, but somehow he felt it in his bones, that he was part of something older than words, a rhythm, a promise, passed down through generations. The bell had been there longer than any memory. Some said it was forged by monks who walked barefoot and never spoke. Others said it was a gift from a lost prince whose heart had been broken by the stars. But all agreed, it kept the village safe, it kept the night still. As the stars emerged, Harvin would make his slow descent. The air always felt colder on the way down, but not unkind. He'd pass the painted glass window that shimmered blue and green with moonlight. He'd touch the smooth stone wall where ivy crept in each spring. And when he reached the bottom, he would blow out his lantern with a gentle breath, F, 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 and walk home under the gaze of the silver moon. And so it went, night after night. The bell would sing, the village would rest, and Harvin would walk among shadows, with peace as his companion. The bell did not cry, it did not shout, it soothed, and so did he. Now, let your thoughts drift like mist over Hollow Hill. Feel the bell's final chime settle into your chest like a heartbeat. Low, steady, safe. You are at peace now. Let the wind tuck you in. Let the stars keep watch. And if you listen closely, you may still hear it, faint, from somewhere far away. Donning, the Bellringer of Hollow Hill, keeping the dark at bay. Tonight, we return once more to the hush of Hollow Hill, to its meadows steeped in twilight, to its winding stream that hums with frog song and memory, and to the narrow stone steeple where the bell still waits. But tonight, the rhythm has shifted. For Havan, the old bet, had felt something stir in his bones. Not a pain, not a fear, something quieter, something like completion. That morning, he'd watched the mist gather over the hills with a softness that felt different. The sunrise didn't rush. The birds sang as they always did, but slower, as if every note lingered longer in the air. And when Harvin tied his boots, he paused just a little longer over the final knot, as though his hands remembered every evening he had done this before. You see, the Bellringer was nearing the end of his years, and though he feared no end, he hoped quietly in his heart that the bell would continue long after he was gone. For a village that sleeps beneath the echo of a bell sleeps safer and dreams sweeter. So that day, Harvin walked the village, speaking to no one, but watching everything. He passed by the bakery where flour dust floated like snow. He passed a shoemaker's bench where old leather creaked under calloused fingers. He even passed the ivy-covered notice board where old flyers rustled with the wind. He smiled at it all, not with sadness, but with the kind of stillness that lives only in. As dusk fell, he returned once more to the steeple. The lantern flared to life in his palm with a soft puff. And again, he began to climb, step by step, stone by stone. But tonight, his footsteps were lighter, almost weightless. And something curious happened. At the base of the tower, beneath the crooked wooden beam, a young boy sat quietly. He had a small satchel hatched with care and eyes far older than his years. Harvin paused, waiting for someone. He asked, his voice like turning pages. The boy stood and nodded. "For you," he whispered, "to watch you ring it. Just once." Harvin's eyes crinkled with a quiet smile. No one had ever asked before. And so, he nodded and extended his hand. "Come then. If you can climb the steps, you're welcome to hear the bell from the sky." Together, They rose winding through the stone spiral where moss kissed the walls and wind whispered secrets through the slits in the tower. Halfway up, the boy asked, softly, "Why do you ring it?" Harvin's answer came like breath, "Because the knights listen, and we must answer it gently." When they reached the bell chamber, starlight had begun to pierce the veil of dusk. The bell, ancient and wise, stood silent and strong. Harvin placed his lantern beside it. The flame flickered gold against its dark bronze skin. Then, with the boy standing beside him, he lifted the mallet one last time and struck Donny. The sound flowed through the hills like a river returning home. And in every cottage and farmstead, in every attic and hearth, people paused, even if they did not know why. They felt something different that night. Something tender, something final, something like goodbye. Harvin rang it once more. Then again, each chime a farewell, a blessing, a memory. He looked at the boy. "You'll remember the sound?" he asked. The boy nodded. "I already do." And then, Harvin sat beside the bell. He leaned back against the smooth stone wall, letting the silence wrap around him like a warm shawl. The boy stayed a while, just listening to the night. And when he descended, he carried with him the sound, the rhythm, the duty. No one saw Harvin after that night. But when the villagers climbed the steeple the next morning, they found his lantern still warm and a small bundle beside the bell. His coat neatly folded, a sprig of lavender tucked in the pocket, and on the stone wall, a message carved in old runes, soft with time. It read, "Even in silence, the bell still sings." In the years that followed, the boy now grown took Harvin's place. He climbed the stairs. He rang the bell. He whispered blessings into the dusk. Some said his voice sounded like Harvin's. Others said the bell rang sweeter now. But all agreed on one thing. The bell never stopped, and Hollow Hill remained at peace. And now, as you breathe, slow and calm, feel yourself climbing down from the tower, through the hush of night, to a bed of moss, or cotton, or dream. Let the air cool around you. Let your thoughts ring once, then fade. There's nothing to do now. No bell to ring. No footsteps to climb. Only sleep, only dreams, and somewhere far away, a sound carries through the night. Not to wake you, but to keep you safe. The bell still sings, even now. She sleeps.